Hi stock investors, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, it's a new week as I record this, and it's been an eventful weekend with President Biden pulling out of the race to go again as president, and there's speculation, of course. So as it relates to the market, let's look at a few videos, a bit of politics based today. Firstly, legendary VC Vinod Khosla says he believes that VP Kamala Harris can beat Donald Trump. And at the moment, Donald Trump is leading in the polls, and it remains to be seen. But let's see what he's got to say. He did have a stout with Elon Musk on X, on Twitter. So let's see what that's all about too. He's backing the Democrats, while some other VCs, prominent Silicon Valley VCs, have been going over to the Trump side. So let's get into it.
President Biden announced he was dropping out of the 2024 race for the White House. Our next guest took to X, calling for an open convention, and said the country now has a, quote, unique opportunity for a better, moderate path, unquote. He also got into it with Elon Musk, and so we're going to get to it
sure did.
On all of it with our next guest. Joining us right now, first on CNBC, is investor Vinod Khosla, founder of Khosla Ventures, and somebody who's donated for a long, long time to the Democratic Party. Vinod, it's nice to see you this morning. Lay out your case in terms of, just before we get into the Elon of it, how you're thinking about.
Let's get into the Elon of it. So if you don't know, this guy is a very successful VC from Silicon Valley. He's been involved in a lot of successful investments in the past.
What an open convention would be, and who you think would even emerge to be in such an open convention?
Andrew, just to correct your statement there, I'm an independent who's contributed to Democrats over climate issues, but also to Republicans, including John McCain and others in the past.
He's been very outspoken about climate issues and having investments in climate tech. He's talked about that quite a lot in the past. So obviously that lends itself to more Democratic, although he does say he's independent.
I do think we should have a process because we didn't have a Democratic primary, so it's important we have a process. I'd love to see many more people. If Joe Manchin wants to run, great. I prefer climate candidates. But I do think we should have, the process is more important than a coronation to get more support broadly. It'll even be better for Kamala. I believe Kamala can beat Trump, but I think it's pretty important. The process is important.
What do you think of her?
I haven't spent a lot of time with her. And frankly, most of the policies we've seen in the past 4 years are Biden's policies. As you know, the vice president effectively doesn't have a huge role in policy.
That's true. It seems to be Vice President more of a figurehead role in terms, not really that powerful a position, but obviously people want to be the Vice President for this very reason, I think, is that they potentially can be president, as Biden was after Obama stepping into that role. Not a lot of people really know much about Kamala, except for, from my point of view, I've seen a lot of clips which sometimes tend to make fun of her. So it's going to be interesting to see what she's made of in terms of, you know, being a vice president, a potential vice president. I mean, obviously she's been a lawyer, a district attorney for a long time before this. So, you know, she's not someone who's just come out of nowhere.
I think she's a tough prosecutor, so she will be tougher than Biden. But we have to see what happens.
Is there
just watching the previous debate, it's been clear Democratic presidents have done better than Republican presidents on the economy in the past, but despite the narrative.
Okay, that's arguable there. That's always argued there about how Democratic presidents have done better on the economy than Republican ones. That's always up for argument, up for debate. I'm not sure what he's basing that on. People lean towards certain statistics, whether it's the stock market, the economy, but it's probably, you know, fairly close, I would say.
I do think an independent middle path is what this country needs more than anything else.
In terms of a potential running mate for her, is there somebody you would like to see join that ticket if that ultimately is the ticket?
I don't have a preference yet. I haven't seen the slate of candidates he's considering. I was more focused, and this was before yesterday, as things were breaking, I'm very much and still am in favor of an open convention.
So, but part of
I think that would be good. It'll be very interesting, fascinating to see an open convention here where there are various candidates. It's seemingly so close to the election in the US, but you know, I'm not from the US, and I've seen in other countries, my own country, things can happen very quickly. Candidates can get chosen pretty close to the election, and the public can, you know, get their head around it. It's usually such a long process in the US, but it doesn't really need to be.
Part of the issue is that there may not be an open convention, partially because she's been anointed, potentially, and partially there's a question mark as to if you were a candidate or somebody that you thought could be a nominee, and I'm thinking of Governor Whitmer or others, maybe you think to yourself, you know what, I want to try this in 28. I don't want to try this now.
Oh, clearly, there's political calculus going on. I think even if she's the only candidate running, I'll be comfortable with that, because I do believe she has a good chance of beating Trump. And beating Trump is more important than winning.
So he thinks he's got a good chance of beating Trump. It's interesting. It's going to be a fascinating race from here where Trump seems to be quite far ahead at the moment, but things can change.
The presidency.
So explain that. I was going to say yesterday, Elon Musk took to Twitter.
Okay, before we get into the Elon of it, as he put it, an interesting stuff with Elon Musk, I want to say that I am proud to be able to offer my viewers a special offer from ShareSite. And there'll be a link in the description and in the pinned comment about this. But if you don't know what ShareSite is, let's go into it. Let's see what it is. ShareSite is an excellent portfolio tracking and reporting tool that takes the hassle out of managing your investments. Here's how it works. Simply import your trading history either from your broker or from a spreadsheet or manually. ShareSite organizes all your investments in one place, no matter where your assets live, so that you can track your true and total performance, including dividends, market prices, currency movements, and corporate actions such as dividends and share splits are automatically recorded going back up to 20 years and ongoing. To keep your portfolio up to date, you simply email your trade confirmations to ShareSite, or better yet, like I do, get your broker to do it, because ShareSite automatically updates your portfolio with the trades from your broker, so there's zero data entry required. ShareSite gives you an excellent view of your portfolio with capital gains, dividends, and currency fluctuations. It's easy to compare individual investments, identify any underperformers, and get a complete and accurate picture of your total returns. And ShareSite's detailed tax reports make your accountant's job really easy, saving you hundreds and even thousands of dollars in fees. You can access ShareSite from anywhere. Your data is protected by bank level security and always backed up and secure. You can get started today, now, by using my referral link. Okay, so that's it. I use this service. It's really good. As I said, there'll be a special offer for my viewers in the pinned comment and the description if you want to take a look at that. All right, let's get back to what they're saying about Elon here, about the stoush that he had with Elon.
Twitter and said to you, come on, Vinod, Trump, Vance, let's LFG, let's just say, exclamation point, exclamation point. And you took to him and you said, hard for me to support someone who has no values, lies, cheats, rapes, demeans women, hates immigrants like me. He may cut my taxes or reduce some regulation, but there's no reason to accept depravity in his personal values. Do you want a president who will set back climate by a decade in his first year? Do you want his example for your kids as values? Elon went back to you and said he doesn't hate you. In fact, I think he likes you. Meet him and find out for yourself. Would you like to have a meeting with former President Trump?
I have no interest in meeting him. I have made up my mind, so occasionally you do make up your mind. I think his supporting the January 6th and insurrection, trying to violate the democratic process, trying to support Trump, but the 2025 agenda.
There's a lot of collective amnesia going on about January 6th, forgetting what happened in that first term, really. But this guy, Vinod Khosla, is really keen on climate and climate tech. So he obviously thinks that Donald Trump, from that point of view, is not going to be great. And he is supporting Elon. Elon's supporting him with it. But he has said, you know, he's probably going to do something about electric cars in a negative way. That remains to be seen. But also drilling, drill, baby, drill kind of thing.
Those are very, very dangerous things. Our institutions are more important than the economy the next 4 years. And then the economy and climate are two really critical issues. But frankly, his values and his support of the insurrection are what completely kills him for me, even if he would have the economy do better, which I don't think is true.
Vinod, how do you think about so many of the other peers and colleagues of yours in Silicon Valley that seem to have switched gears, if you will, being very vocal in favor of former President Trump?
That's true. Like people like David Sachs, who has been a Republican and supporter of Donald Trump for a long time, and then his friends going over, mainly libertarians. Chamath's gone over from the Democratic side. These are from the All In podcast, of course, these guys, and others as well have surprisingly gone, well, surprisingly, just in recent times have gone over to the Trump side, thinking that it will be better for tech.
Look, there's one group of people, mostly around the PayPal mafia and crypto.
He said the PayPal mafia there, so yeah, that's group, but not all of them. Reid Hoffman's not definitely Democrat and supporting Biden. He was.
Peter Thiel and his group, the PayPal mafia and crypto, just are fundamentally extreme libertarians. Nothing wrong with that, but crypto is not a thing that you should hang the election on. And frankly, I think Trump can be bought. They gave him enough money, and he supported crypto in exchange. That's not how.
So it has been reported that Elon Musk is giving Donald Trump $45 million a month, and he even said that in one of his speeches. Even though Elon, I don't think he's confirmed it, but definitely he said he's giving it to a super PAC, but really to Donald Trump, it seems.
How the process should work.
Well, you know, the description, and I thought it was, I rarely hear such hyperbolic Trump derangement syndrome just verbalized, just without any sort of embarrassment at all. But with that said, the other people that, and maybe you'll say all they care about is tax cuts or enriching themselves, but when you say that all these people, these good people out there, are supporting a rapist, treasonous insurrectionist, you're either throwing them in the same category as the person they're supporting, or you're saying that you're smarter than them for being able to see that in Trump. How do you feel comfortable? How do you feel comfortable putting people, some of your peers out there, in the same category as a rapist, insurrectionist, traitor?
No, what I'm specifically saying is they don't value those characteristics. They prefer less regulation, which is a reasonable thing. As
deregulation in their wall. It's all about money, all about furthering their own self-interests in their business. They're willing to completely ignore all this moralizing and judging that you're totally comfortable in doing.
I think values are important as examples.
So they're wrong
kids.
about they have no values.
I think they don't value enough. They don't value values enough. I do.
So what he's saying really is that they're more concerned with money and, you know, their self-interest in terms of where tech will be, if it's the tech entrepreneurs, the tech VCs that are supporting Trump here. He does want to lower taxes, and he thinks that they're going to be probably less punitive than Democrat. And even, you know, after the assassination attempt, even Mark Zuckerberg's come out and said that it was a badass move, you know, that he got up. And so it did have an effect on popularity for sure. But we'll have to see what happens. Where do you come down? Let me know in the comments where you think one way or the other. Do you think he's got a point here? Do you think Joe there, what he's saying, that he's disrespecting Trump supporters? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And on screen now, I'm going to put a link to what YouTube thinks that you should watch next. So go and do that now if you want to. Also, a subscription link. Subscribe to this channel, relative new channel. And don't forget about that share site link in the pinned comment in the description. And I'll see you in the next one.